My melanin is tingling. NYPD Detective Brian Simonson killed by friendly fire during Queens robbery. Now, I'm going to go in and out of reading this article and talking. Wednesday, February 13th, I was actually rolling around Queens, around the vicinity of this, and I remember the perimeter just getting larger and larger. Like they had one block blocked off, then there was another block and another block and another block, and then traffic was crazy. Richmond Hill, Queens. The New York Police Department and New York City are in mourning after an NYPD detective was killed by friendly fire during a robbery in Queens Tuesday night. Detective Brian Simonson, 42, a 19-year-old veteran of the force, died from injuries suffered in the shooting. NYPD Sergeant Matthew Gorman was also struck by gunfire, but is expected to survive. The incident unfolded as the officers responded to a report of an armed robbery at a T-Mobile store around 6 p.m. near Atlantic Avenue and 121st Street in Richmond Hill. A 911 caller reported seeing the suspect take two employees into the back of the store at gunpoint. Authorities said Simonson and Gorman were in the area conducting an unrelated case when the call came in and went to investigate, arriving at the same time as the other officers. So that article I was reading from was ABC. I'm going to read this little part and then I'm going to go back to the ABC one, okay? Simonson was struck once in the chest. He was not wearing a bulletproof vest. It's department policy to wear one. Okay, I'm going to go back to ABC now. The incident unfolded as the officers responded to a report of an armed robbery at a T-Mobile store. The officers respond to an armed robbery at the T-Mobile store, but didn't go wearing a vest? A 911 caller reported seeing the suspect take two employees into the back at gunpoint. Authorities said Simonson and Gorman were in the area conducting an unrelated case when the call came in and they went to investigate, arriving at the same time as the other officers. Gorman entered the store with other responding officers, police said, while Simonson did not, consistent with protocol that requires the highest rank to remain outside. Police said suspect 27-year-old Christopher Ransom was carrying a fake weapon and charged at officers. 7 officers then fired 42 shots from both sides of the store, striking Simonson and Gorman and Ransom. Gorman entered the store, while other responding officers, police said, while Simonson did not. Police said that suspect 27, Christopher Ransom, was carrying a fake weapon and charged at officers. 7 officers then fired 42 shots from both sides of the store, striking Simonson, Gorman, and Ransom. This happens in seconds, NYPD Chief of Department Terrence Mohanahan said. It goes from 0 to 60. Simonson was shot in the chest and died on the way to the hospital, while Gorman, an 8-year veteran, remains hospitalized with a gunshot wound to the thigh. It isn't clear if Simonson was struck directly or by a ricochet off metal framing, and authorities don't yet know which gun fired the shot. But what they do know is that boy's gun was fake. The police scene is caused by a man advancing toward police officers, Mohanahan said. The blame goes toward that individual. Friendly fire aside, Police Commissioner James O'Neill said Simonson's death was due to the actions of the suspect, described as a career criminal. Let's talk about this career criminal. Look at these videos from the Career Criminals YouTube page.
See the cop come out going to the street. Hey.
What's up, Superman?
I'm a superhero, man. Crystal Rich.
Go into the precinct, see what they say. I'm good, man. Thank you. Have a good one.
Give a call, guys. If you guys ever need any assistance, how you doing, sir? I'm all right, man. Wow, man. I love the law enforcement, man. And you know what? You guys get paid for it. I'll do it for free. I just want to save people's lives. Can I ask the sergeant, does he need help? Hi guys, I'm a superhero. My name is Christopher Risk. I just want to basically ask, you guys need my assistance. I'm a superhero. Look, I know you guys get paid to do what you do, and I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys. But, no, what's your name again? Christopher Risk. You want my car? Could you give me my car? You go past my car? That's enough. Listen, you do a great job. Thank you. I mean, I do it for free. I just want to save lives. I love you guys. I appreciate the NYPD. All cops are not bad, guys. Some cops are good. Thank you, Chris. I love you guys, man. Good night. Keep making sure our streets are safe, all right? We will, man. Let me not walk out. Let me fly out.
All right, good night.
Good night, guys.
Career criminal. Okay. Brian was a good man. He was a good detective. Just to tell you a little bit about him, I saw him this morning, and whether you know it or not, he's the elected delegate of the 102nd Precinct Detective Squad, said Michael Palladino, with the Detectives Endowment Association. What that means is his fellow detectives saw leadership skills in him. The detective was so dedicated, he was not even required to be at work that evening. Because he's the delegate in the 102 Detective Squad, and today was the delegate meeting, he was actually excused from duty, Palladino said. But we had this pattern going on, so he felt compelled to go to the delegate meeting, ignore the excusal, and go to work. He was the kind of guy that led by example, not words. So the article said that there was a rash of these going on, right? This young man's YouTube shows that he does this thing. He pranks. Could that be why the officer showed up to this call with no vest on? No vest? Anyone else think that's weird? Anyone else is melanin single? Anyone else smell something fishy? Anyone else smell something that stinks? Anyone else see that these dots not connecting? Anybody else got a tin hat tingling? Is anybody having a funny feeling about this other than me?
You know, this is Chris the Risk. You know, the fire department about to get a taste of this. I see fire and smoke coming out the window. It's in the school on Rockaway Avenue in Lynn.